Welcome. This is the 116 Life on Holy Culture Radio, Sirius Channel 140. I'm one of your hosts, Ace Harris, here with
Meah Evans. Listen, welcome everyone who is tuned in once again. We're happy y'all are back here with us here on the 116 Life. Listen, we have an amazing guest here.
Amazing.
Ace, intro our guest, man. I'm gonna let you do the honors.
I feel like if I do that, the whole episode is gonna be filmed because I have so much accolades to just adore her with. So this is the amazing singer, songwriter, worship leader,
come
on, producer, vocalist, vocal producer,
everything.
A Grammy award winning. We can keep going. I mean, I feel like
we need the sound things.
Honestly, Crystal Nicole, good to have you.
Yeah, Crystal Nicole.
To be here, y'all. I feel like this is home for me. So
yeah, you've been in these.
I'm a cousin.
Yeah,
I'm
for
a
real.
Cousin of the house.
You that's 1,000. You're definitely like family. I feel like when we first met. That's like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Working on some stuff, and it was like we had known each other for a long time because you just seem to embody the aura of like what we about, the 116 Life, and just being a dope creative in this space. So yeah, you just celebrated a birthday. How you feel?
I just hit 40 and I feel amazing.
You look good.
Yes,
she tell you that right now. Y'all see these boots? We should do a shoe cam.
That's why I actually tell people that it's 40 because people be trying to hide their age.
Yeah,
I worked hard to make sure that I'm smashing my 20-year-old self.
Come on,
I worked hard for that.
That's good.
So,
I feel like that's amazing. I feel like 40 is like such a a scary number for a lot of people.
It is. But I mean, like, I got all the wisdom that I didn't have at 20 now.
Right.
And I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm where I need to be spiritually, mentally. So yeah, I celebrate 40.
Yeah, you seem super charged up, like, which is like I can just feel the like warrior energy just oozing off of you.
Warrior energy.
You know what I'm saying? Which is good. I mean, that's kind of the testament to all the things you've been battling. So
I was gonna say you only get warrior energy when you've been through war.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get that without going through.
Right,
so
right.
I'm thankful that God has been, equipping me with the tools that I need so that I can come out this mug swinging.
Crystal Nicole, ladies and gentlemen.
Listen, so I got a question. So what are you most looking forward to in this season right now?
Right now, I'm looking forward to just performing this Silent Night record that I did a while back with you guys. It's one of my favorite songs that I've ever written. Like, seriously.
That just warms my heart.
Oh my gosh. I get videos from people all over the world who are singing this song. So every time that we land in this season, I'm like, we back.
Listen.
Just when you thought we was gone, we back. So that's something I'm really looking forward to. And I also just shot a video for some other stuff that I'm doing. So I'm just I'm out here moving and shaking like I'm 20, and I love it.
I think that's well said. Like, you're obviously not slowing down. You've got your hands on a lot of different things, and shout out to you for like aging gracefully. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's some people they get around this age and they kind of, especially my peers in music.
Yeah.
We probably have friends or peers that started off doing this when we started, and for whatever reason they can't continue doing it. I mean, how does it feel to be like someone that has really pursued and worked and been successful in music for so long and still at it?
The music game is an industry you only get into if you're absolutely crazy.
Say that again.
You don't get into it to make money.
Yeah.
Because by the time you make money, you're so exhausted from trying to make money the whole time. you can't even spend it, really.
Right.
So you get into it because you love it and you can't help but just exude creativity.
Right.
And so I've been around for 20 years in the industry. I've worked with everybody and some folks I haven't worked with. But I've just learned that ultimately all of that crumbles in the face of, like, there's certain things I couldn't buy. I couldn't buy security. I couldn't buy confidence. I couldn't buy peace. And I thought that once I got here, I'd be able to just purchase whatever I needed. You know what I'm saying? I'd be that girl. And I realized very quickly that I wasn't, and very quickly that ultimately I still need Jesus. And I have learned that, seen that. I've done the ups and downs of it. And so now I got a better understanding of this is purpose.
Right.
For me, purpose is currency for me. So
purpose is currency. Can you say that? Can you just like run that?
Currency.
Put that on a T-shirt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm spinning. I'm trying to be purposeful in everything that I do. I've gone past the need of just, let me just get a check. Let's go get the check. Cut the check. I got past that, man.
I feel you.
And I'm out here just trying to be purposeful. So
yeah, I mean, obviously, Meah, you mentioned to me how you had first heard about Crystal Nicole through the Silent Night record.
Listen, I got to tell you about yourself, Crystal, now, okay? Because one thing I look forward to, Christmas is my favorite season. And so when the Gift project came out with Reach, I was so excited, like listening to it the entire way. And when I tell you, when your vocals came across that song, it was just I've never heard Silent Night sang the way you did. Wow. And then even the way it was written, putting your own twist on it. And we're in the holiday season, so I feel like it's only fitting for us to talk about this. So what was it like recreating, such a staple Christmas song for the Gift for a Reach Records project?
Well, first off, Ace hit me and was like, yo, we need to make something epic for Christmas. We trying to do epic. I was like, well, there's so many traditional songs out there that everybody love. And when he put me in the studio, I was like, I'm not touching Silent Night. Like, you're not gonna get me out here and people throwing darts at me.
I didn't know that.
So, I was like, nah. I bounced around all the other songs, and I was like, I'm not touching Silent Night. And then, I heard it and I started listening to the music and man, something just it's immediate with me when I write. Like I feel like I co-write with the Lord, not from an arrogant standpoint. Not like, oh, my songs are so great, it's the Lord co-wrote it. Like, no, it's it's from a humility place, because sure. I don't know what's going on until he drops something in there. You know what I mean? And so oftentimes my greatest records, I'm trying not to do it, and he drops something in there. So literally I'm listening to, just the lyrics of It Was a Silent Night, a Holy Night. And I have this thing about Christmas songs not being worshipful. They're cute and they're jingly and they're gimmicky and it's fun for the kids, but it's not honoring to the Lord oftentimes. So I was listening to it and I put myself in that Silent Night. I put myself in that barn. I put myself there looking at that manger. I put myself with the animal. I went there and I was just thinking like, wow, how do you mend a broken world? I goose up.
Just,
you know what I mean?
Me too. I got goosebumps right now.
You got some tissue over there, fam. I'm about to.
It's
got me all in my feelings over here.
Once you do that, it's like it's no longer lights and trees and gifts and presents. It's now the presence has entered the room.
It's
like
real.
The present entered the room. You know what I mean? And I just feel like I was trying to write a worship record. I was trying to write something honoring, and also make sure that it was dope. Like, people like, I just want to worship, but can it be dope too, though?
We can have both.
We can have both. You know what I mean? So
you did that.
I appreciate you saying that, though, because it means so much to me.
What about the record Silent Night made you so hesitant to even approach like reimagining it? Like,
it's such a fan favorite. It's a classic, and everybody and their mom sings it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it gets to a point to where it's almost like the national anthem sometimes. Like, can we hear another version? Can we hear anything different? You know what I mean? So I was like, I don't know that I could approach Silent Night differently, but I know how to embody a moment in a record, and I know how to make, I know how to write soundtrack to life.
Right.
That's
so
real.
That's my gifting. And so I just went back 2,000 plus years ago and just took my inventory of that scenario. And it really was a conversation about like, how does God fix this mess? Like, how do you fix it? Specifically the second verse is saying,
come on lyrics. I was actually rehearsing in my head.
Genius.com.
Come on,
breakdown.
What is the
silver and gold cannot suffice?
It's the how do you repay the gift of life? What's the return on his sacrifice? It's like, what's the return? Like, what do you do with
nothing?
That? You know what I mean? And she done.
We can go ahead and wrap this up.
We can go ahead and wrap this up right now.
Oh my gosh, I just love that, and to me, it removes you from Christmas. You can play this song in June.
In June,
hit me like all throughout the year.
Yes,
singing it. You know.
And what's that lyric you said after that? It was like silver and gold.
Silver and gold won't suffice. So I'm giving my heart as my reply.
Giving my heart. I feel like that's what when you talk about writing a worshipful song for the holiday season. Our response to the gift that we've been given is like our heart.
Yeah. Living
There's
sacrifice.
no,
you can't get that joint on Amazon.
No, you can't.
Can't.
Like,
not gonna come in 2 days.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna be day of delivery. It's gonna be But I think that's. I mean, obviously, like in my household, man, like my wife plays that song all the time because I think it is a beautiful record, and to have a Grammy award-winning songwriter say that one of her best songs was written in this building under the 116 umbrella. it just warms my heart to feel like we were fortunate enough to even allow you to work with it. I mean, shout out Joe McNeil on the track too, who
my God,
killed it.
Oh my God! That just when I first heard the guitar and everything, it took me out of.
So the thing is, which I don't know is, shout out Ben Washer, who was like he was the main architect behind the gift. Yeah. And we had a first version of Silent. Like Crystal and Joe had had 3 or 4 ideas.
Okay.
Right here in Studio B that you guys can't see. And Silent Night was just literally first verse, pre-chorus and chorus. Yep. It was supposed to be like an interlude thing. I don't know if that was your intention.
Yeah, it was reduced to like it was supposed to just be like a
I think it was my A&R self being like, yo, if it's a ballad, let's keep it simple. We don't want to bore people out on the project. Right. And Ben Washer heard the record and was like, no, go back. This is so special. Shout out to Ben. He knew it. Yeah. And I think he's so right. And then the first verse was so special. I didn't even think, like when I heard the second verse lyrics, I was like, yeah, when you said you co-write with the Lord, that's what I felt when I heard the song.
You feel that. Wow. Yeah, you feel that. Like I have to start the song over because I blinked and I feel like I just missed it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's you said something that was so powerful, is that you write the soundtrack to life. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And we should worship during Christmas. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So therefore, hearing not just your voice, but hearing God in you shine through that. It's man, it's Crystal. You have no idea what that song does to me. It's so powerful, and to me, it was truly a staple on the project. It was a special one for sure.
And you obviously did a remix, which I mean, the remix of Q Parker. Speak a little bit about that, how that came together, and what's that, how you guys came to do that record.
So Q Parker is my big brother. And what we do is, like, when we do something dope, we'll text each other and be like, hey, yo, send me the session. Like, we'll just randomly hit each other. Hey, I heard that song you just did. Send me a session. Send me a 2-track. Right. And so he hit me and he was like, this Silent Night record, you got to send me that. I just for fun, I want to sing on it. Because we're singers at heart. You know what I mean? And so I sent it to him, and then he sent me back. This is a funny story. He sent me back a new version, and he rewrote the second verse, right? And so I'm like, and he just told the story the other day. So I'm like, dang, man, how do I love him. I think he's incredible, but I smashed that joint. How do I tell him we got to lose this new second verse and keep what I have, right? Because, it's one of them things where, like, you don't want to tell your friend, like, So I was like, I said, this isn't, the vocals is crazy, ad-lib here. I'm trying to dance around everything, other than just saying, hey, man, we got to lose that new second verse. So then I didn't play it, and I didn't say anything about it. And he was like, yo, so, what we doing? We're going to move. We're going to try to, perform it, blah, blah. And I said, man, it took me about 30 minutes on the phone to get it out. And he just listening to me. Then at the end, he was like, I just want to commend you for even taking the chance to try to tell me this in a nice way. But I told him, I was like, yo, you got to go back in and just re-sing the original second verse. I said, this isn't me on some ego. This is me on some reverence.
Reverence,
What was written wasn't written just by me. This ain't like Crystal Nicole trying to shine through. The Lord put his hands on that.
Yeah, for sure.
And I just felt like if we're going to do it, if you put your vocal on what he put his hands on, I get out the way completely. But we can't lose that. What's the return on the sacrifice?
Oh yeah, we not returning that. No,
we're not returning that.
That's gonna stay right there.
He re-sang it. He was a good sport about it, and we just been singing it all over everywhere.
And it's amazing to. Obviously, there's other records on the gift. That shout out to all the artists and creators that help contribute to it. I'm just overjoyed and thankful that God allowed that moment to happen, and that it's still blessing people. All throughout the world, even outside of the holiday season. Yeah. So as we get into more of what Crystal Nicole's back has been on, because some of you guys may know her through the gifts. She's got a lot of like history and music that's just amazing. So we'll definitely be right back. This is the 116 Life on Holy Culture Radio, Sirius Channel 140. Be right back, y'all. Welcome back. This is the 116 Life Holy Culture Radio, Sirius Channel 140. I'm one of your hosts, Ace Harris, here with the amazing
Meah Evans. Listen, we have an amazing guest. The one and only Crystal Nicole is in the building, man. So we got to dive into the history of Crystal Nicole, right? So I got to know, like, what was your upbringing life like? Like, were you in a musical family? Like, did you sing at a young age? Like, let's talk about your upbringing, like how that was like for you.
Wow. So I'm from Atlanta. Let me just. I wanted to
let them know.
Yeah.
Let them know. Talk to them.
Everybody knows. Here and y'all talk about our traffic, but the traffic is crazy because none of y'all are from here. It's all these other places.
Talk to them.
But yeah, I'm from Atlanta. I grew up in Decatur, where it's greater.
Talk to him.
The greatest.
I was born in Decatur, so I'm gonna be out here just ad-libbing everything. Go ahead.
And I grew up in a musical family. My mom, my dad, and my older sister, we all sang. We used to harmonize on the way to the grocery store, all that. But I also grew up in domestic violence. So my dad used to brutally beat my mom, like on a regular basis, to the point to where ultimately, years later, he ended up shooting her 3 times, twice in the head, once in the arm. And then the police ended up shooting and killing him. And I was literally like 7-year-olds in the next room.
Wow.
Yeah, like it is the most insane story ever. And music was like the only thing that kind of blanketed all of that for me. So music became like a safety net for me because I'd have to turn up radio or music things around me just to drown out the sound of screaming and fighting. You know what I'm saying? And it's pretty heavy. Whenever I talk about it, people are like, are you serious? Like, is this an actual story?
Yeah.
But I've been, the Lord has been amazingly gracious and healing in a lot of areas. But that's why I take music so seriously,
right?
Because it really he allowed it to be a covering for me at a time when I didn't know the Lord like that. I'm 7, so I don't know. You know what I mean? But the fact that my family all sang, it just kind of the only time we were on one accord was when we were singing.
Wow.
We were doing music. Yeah.
That's
so harmony is a big deal for me.
Yeah.
It's not just harmony with vocals, it's harmony in life and peace and all that. Yeah.
That's a very like testimony and like story that it means just that people have these real life stories. Yeah. I didn't even know this. I've known you for some time. I didn't know that was your story. So I'm just taking it all in, and I want to just learn more about how that story shaped the person you came to be. So were you under the caretaking of family members after that moment, or?
So after that, my mom was in the hospital for, it seemed like forever. It probably was like maybe a couple of months maybe, but it seemed, for me, it seemed like forever. And me and my sister went to live with my aunt, my mom's sister, and which we kind of met for the first time because my dad wouldn't allow us to have any dealings with my mom's family. So we didn't know our cousins and aunts and uncles and stuff like that,
Right.
So we lived over there with her and my cousins, and it was rough. I mean, I remember going back to school after it happened, and kids in school had to donate clothes to us because we didn't have anything, And so I would go to school, and kids would be like, "Oh, you wearing my dress? Why your daddy tried to kill your mama?" Because kids don't know no better.
Yeah.
And so they just,
say the not the darnest things, the harshest things.
The harshest things, no filter, no cap, none of that.
And this is in Atlanta. This is like early 90s.
This is 91.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it was rough.
It's a different Atlanta back then. It wasn't like these little gentrified suburban. This is
public school,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Like it was crazy. East Side, Decatur, it was crazy, and I think I learned very early on that trauma can bring about fame, and so you can be trauma famous. Like you could have something happen in your life that's just terrible, and it'll make people want to be around you because they want to know what happened. They want to know. So as a kid, not having popularity, it brought popularity. Like I remember the first day going back to school, and I literally had the entire, maybe first grade, or kindergarten. I had the entire kindergarten walking behind me as I led down the PE field. You know what I mean? And that was the first time I ever experienced fame.
Wow. How did it feel then, and looking back, in that moment? How did it feel for people to kind of flock to you, even though it was for not the best reason?
Yeah.
How'd that feel?
It was in the moment. It was like, wow, they like me. They want me around. But once I got a little older and thought, I was like, no, they just wanted to hear the gossip. You know what I mean? They wanted to hear the scoop. And it shaped a lot of things in me, even dealing with the industry. You know what I'm saying? I was always wanting and searching for that popularity. And so I would use my gifts or my talents, or once I got money, I'd use that, whatever I could, to try to hold on to that, because I was still looking for that sense of validation. And then I lost my father, so I also didn't have that piece, of validation as well. So I think I went throughout the industry just kind of searching for that in whatever corner I could find it. Yeah.
So At what point did the Lord interject your story, and how did that come about? Because obviously, without Him, I don't even know if you'd be sitting here right now.
I mean, I'm kind of sane. I'm a little sane. So I was in like a youth camp.
Okay.
When I was maybe like 16 or 17. Called Young Life. Shout out to Young Life.
Shout out to Young Life.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out
Young
to
Life.
Young Life.
Young Life.
Saving lives. Saving young lives.
Saving Young Lives.
Is that their like real tag? Nah, that's not. Did you just come up with that?
I just came up with that. Yes.
Hey, Young Life. Send her that invoice.
For real though. And like I went to the winter camp with the other little kids or whatever, and I remember they were like, yo, just go outside, take some time and just, see what God says to you if while you're out there. And I mean, I grew up in church, my dad actually taught me who Jesus was, which is the irony. Of that. My dad was dealing with some demons and they got the best of him, ultimately. Yeah. He was, alcoholic, drug addict, that kind of thing. And the way my mom explained it is just that he was fighting demons and they won, So she never vilified him to us. Like she never like your daddy wasn't like no, it was he was sick and when he was himself, that's not who he was.
Right.
So I understood that, and when I was at camp, I had a healthy sense of kind of who God was, but I didn't have a relationship, and so they was like, go outside and just spend some time and see what the Lord says. And I remember it was like freezing cold, and it was the first time I ever felt like, not that I heard the Lord, but that he was focused on me. Mm-hmm. I felt like I was singled out and he was looking directly at me and he was directly with me. Prior to that, I always felt like he was just like general, you know what I'm saying? He's a general God. Like you own everybody. Everybody talk to you at the same time, you know what I'm saying? But that night I felt singled out and I felt unique and special in that way. And I didn't need.
You felt seen.
Yeah, I felt seen and I didn't need kindergarten behind me on it. I felt the fame of heaven behind me. Sure. In that regard. You know what
being famous in heaven is like him knowing you is the best validation that anyone can have. So you found the Lord. Tell me about this like journey into like songwriting and artistry. Cause I mean 17, like Chris, we all knew Crystal Nicole coming up in the industry. Like we used to read the credits. It was this girl from Atlanta killing it. I mean big stuff, but at what point did you get like into music and pursuing it professionally? Like how did that happen?
So I'm gonna just be honest with you. So I was trying to be an artist. I'm a singer first, and I didn't even know I could write songs. Had no desire to write a song, right? And I was in a singing group, and the singing group kept breaking up. And then the last time the group broke up, I was told basically, you're too fat, you're too dark, and you're not attractive enough to be an artist.
What year was this?
This was was several years. Incongruent. Like it just
hot take as we're starting to see now in culture.
Yeah,
a lot of these music execs was toxic.
I
mean, toxic masculinity is kind of like a buzzword, but it's a real word.
It's a real word
that people are weaponizing their power and their privilege and literally. Berating young black women, and it's really disgusting. But anyway,
I dealt with all of that coming up, just like and so I was mad at God about it. I was like, why would you give me this gift and this voice and put it in the wrong package? I felt like I was the wrong package. Like you literally went to the store, bought something, you bought like a roll, expensive watch, and you put it in like a Walmart bag. I felt like I was the Walmart bag. You know what I'm saying? Because I was constantly told that. No matter what room you walk in, you'll always be the most talented, but they're going to put a lighter, smaller, prettier girl in front. Wow. And that was that followed me. That I carried that. Shoot, I probably carried that about maybe 5 months ago. Now,
we still children out here.
No, but that's real because I relate to that. You know what I'm saying? I think that I want to know, how did you push past that? Because it's not easy, being in the industry when you have a talent and a gift and an ambition, and then being told things that you can't change. How did you get pushed past that criticism?
Man, like, so what it did was it forced me to start writing, because I was so upset about it that the only way I could get it out was to write it down. And so writing became like therapy for me. And then, it's like, oh, well, if I rhyme that and if I throw that in there. Like, my early songs were so angry. My manager used to tell me, like, yo, you got to chill out. Like you're a little angry out here in these Decatur streets, you know. But it was really just frustration from, like, Lord, right. you dropped the joint off in the wrong package. And so I kept excelling at songwriting. And every time I would get, like, a producer would be like, yo, let me introduce you to this person. Oh, yo, let me... I would get signed as a songwriter. I got signed to Jermaine Dupri and Sony. It was actually EMI Music Publishing back then. Wow. I would get signed and I would work with people, and everything I did great as a songwriter, it was like a reminder to me that I wasn't good enough as an artist. Mm. So I couldn't even celebrate it, you know what I mean? And so when you ask how did I push past it, first of all, this is a daily pushing past. This is I have to fight that joint off even at 40, you know what I mean? And honestly, it wasn't until I had my daughter that, because when I had her, I kept looking, I was like, yo, she's gorgeous. This is like perfection. And the Lord told me one day, he was like, who do you think she looked like? Mm. And I was like, in her, I saw the chocolate, beautiful girl that I didn't see in me. And then I had to realize I'm looking in a mirror, you know what I mean? And so she showed me. And the Lord used that to kind of massage. It's almost like tension knots. You got to massage them lies up out, and it's not overnight. And I have to be careful what I look at on Instagram and just certain things that people try to put on me. I got to massage them things. I got to go back to the masseuse on a regular basis. The Lord is my masseuse, and He massages them knots out all the time. But there'll be seasons where I be like really in it, like, dang man, I struggled with weight my whole life. So I had went and lost like 98 pounds, 100 pounds, just naturally thinking like, oh, I'm on now, Then I went and got me some old 36-inch, it was hanging, the hair was hanging, and I had lost all the weight, and I had this money, and I was like, yo, I'm no longer the little girl who was, walking in front of the kindergartners wearing other people's clothes. I'm not that chick no more. And I'm thinking I've arrived. And then I felt worse at that point. I felt uglier than I had ever felt when I was the overweight girl from Decatur that didn't have no money, that was chasing her dreams. And that's when I realized, like, oh, none of this really makes me who I am at all. Like, I got the car now, I got the money, I got the success, I got the look, I got all of this, and I still feel ugly, And so the Lord had to deal with some things, and He still deals with them every now and then when I get in a certain zone. Yeah. If I'm
thank you for your transparency. Yeah. I think that people watching, even me, it's really healing to hear someone who's being open with your wounds. Yeah. But also admitting that you still get bruised every now and then.
Yeah, like people think like, oh, I found the Lord, and life is just, it's giving rainbows and butterflies. Nah, like some days it is. Yeah. And then some days it be giving like, this is a mess, and yeah, I've been depressed. I love Jesus, and I've been depressed. Like, it's a thing. Like, you can have. Sure. It's a paradox, you know what I mean? And so it's a daily process of picking. That is the cross that we carry.
The cross that we carry.
Those are the splinters on my cross. You know what I mean?
So you went on to like write. I mean, we can get into some of the, but you've written like Rihanna, like so many amazing things. Like how did you like ascend into those spaces, and how did you like find some resolve as a songwriter? And still kind of, pursue the artist thing. Like, was it like overnight? Was it a process? Like, because you've written some, I mean, I don't even want to name drop, because Crystal's written some hit records.
Man, so the process, it was a long process. I mean, I was riding on ball tires, no car insurance, eating Slim Jims from lunch, writing them records in the studio. I remember being in the booth and my stomach would be growling louder than the tracks. And I would literally be trying to sing over the stomach growling, because I ain't had no money for food and just different things like that. So it was not an overnight process for me. I wrote a lot of songs that I never got paid for. A lot of, put in a lot of hours. It's not like a regular job. You put in 2 weeks and then you get your check. No, this is years and years of it. And then I finally caught the attention of Jermaine Dupri. And even with JD, like JD didn't just sign me right away. JD hadn't signed any songwriters. So I think I was the first songwriter that he actually signed. And JD's, one of the biggest songwriters. He don't really get credit as a songwriter.
He's an amazing songwriter.
Yeah, he's a mogul, And so he put me through the ringer. Like, he would send me a track, and I'd write to it, and then he'd be like, nah, that ain't it. And then I would write 10 songs later, because I would have to rewrite, come up with a new concept, new melody, new idea to the same beat.
Wow.
You know, so it taught me how to hear, to like take the canvas and make it blank on. It turned me into a machine. They used to call me a machine because I would do like 3 or 4 sessions a day and, you know, just go. And I never subscribed to like writer's block. Like, what is that? You in the studio with Janet?
What is that?
You don't have
What's
the You can't.
You can't write a song. She can't relate.
No, it's like, I can't be like, oh, I'm sorry, Beyonce, I got writer's block today. She's like, okay, well, that's really, that's great. Let's get another writer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was, I didn't have the luxury of being in my feelings so much that I can't come up. I had to learn how to, if I'm having a day, I write about that day.
You're resilient, Crystal. I ain't gonna lie. You
true to this. Not new to this at all.
Yo.
But
That's
just
my word.
simply
I'm
true
glad
to
you
this.
said that. Resilient. I love that word.
You're people see they don't understand what it takes to get, and there's so much we can keep going on. I definitely want to like also hear about some of the stuff you're doing now, but stay tuned. This is the 116 Life Holy Culture Radio, Sirius Channel 140. I'm just sitting back enjoying this story. I hope you guys are having a great time too. We'll be right back, y'all. This is the 116 Life Holy Culture Radio, Sirius Channel 140. I'm one of your hosts, Ace Harris, here with
Meah Evans. Listen, we had the amazing Crystal Nicole in the building, y'all. We just laughing here, talking it up. Y'all, I just want y'all to know that Crystal, that girl for real. she really is.
Straight up.
And Ace was just asking her off air, asking Crystal like all the things he tried to mention about the songs that she's written, because y'all, Crystal's that girl for real.
got the hits.
Okay, so can we talk about who you wrote for? Like, you know, like, can we just give us a little bit?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm probably worse at this than anybody else.
We got Wikipedia. It's all good. But
And Wikipedia missing a few things.
oh, talk.
Just so no, but I've been blessed to have written songs for everybody from Mariah Carey to Beyonce, Rihanna, Janet Jackson, Jennifer Lopez, Jennifer Hudson, all the way to Lecrae. To Dashi and Minio, all the way to Chris Brown. I mean,
come on.
Sheesh.
All right, we'll see y'all later.
We gonna leave. Because who are Ace and I at this point? Who are we?
No, so obviously you're a Christian, a follower of Jesus, and you're writing songs that are just hit records. And one of the songs, you said your first number one was "Touch My Body."
Mariah Carey.
First of all, that song brought her back to a relevant prominence that she hadn't had since she had some of the Jermaine records.
Yep.
I
So
felt
Touch
like,
My Body was her 19th number one, which put her over the Beatles for the most number ones on Billboard. Wow. Yeah.
and you wrote that.
I co-wrote that.
How did that feel, writing that record?
First of all, you know what's so funny? So I write the joint with her. Working with Mariah is an experience all in itself, because Mariah treats you how she wants to be treated. So that's my first time flying first class. It's my first time being in top-notch hotels.
Okay.
My first time being in a Rolls Royce was with Mariah. My first time going to Barney's, I didn't know what that was. Like, you talking about like purple green dinosaur? What we talking about? Like, I'm from Decatur. Like, you mean?
Right.
So everything, just writing with her, we wrote about 7 or 8 songs for that project, and we wrote it on the beach. Like, her backyard was the beach.
Wow.
So we literally, you know, the song is talking about a tropical breeze. We're sitting out there in a tropical breeze.
Wow.
As we're writing the song. So that was just an experience all in itself. But I remember when it came on the radio, I was in the mall and I was broke. And I was listening to, you know, they singing the song on the radio, and I'm like, oh, but I can't get a 10-piece wing because I'm broke still. So I
How did
learned
that
early
feel?
on. Man, it was exciting and celebratory, because I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, this is a song.
The residual's about to be crazy.
Right. You got to have patience in the songwriting game. Boy.
Yeah.
And people walking around the store and they don't know what you've done. And it's kind of cool. I have a moment with the Lord every time I'm somewhere and I hear one of my records come on and nobody around me knows. And just the Lord knows. You know what I mean? So it's just, it's humbling, and it kind of recenters me.
Sure.
Yeah.
Obviously our guests and some of our fans and followers have the convictions, and they're probably hearing your story, coming here to view the 116 Life, and they're asking themselves,
why she here?
why she right with all these like people of the world, touch my body?
Right.
How do you as a Christian reconcile that artistry in a way that is redemptive? And
Well, I changed the title to Touch My Temple.
Listen.
See, it's y'all in the gutter. Y'all in the gutter. Y'all don't know what.
Watch that go number one.
Right. No, but like, I struggled so hard with being a follower of Jesus and reconciling the places and the doors that he opened for me. And because during that time, I was still searching for identity, I don't think I showed up as his daughter in my mind. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't until after I gained a lot of success and accolades and when I came to myself initially and I realized like, yo, I want to be who he's called me to be. And there are a lot of things I had to turn down. A lot of my manager used to be mad at me. He'd be like, yo, is we trying to make money or not? Because I had to turn down a lot of opportunities because after realizing who I am in Christ, I would just be like, nah, I ain't gonna be able to make that session.
Wow.
And he'd be like, but this person got #1 record. Yeah, but I know what kind of music they're gonna want me to write. And I'm not gonna be able to do it. Because I'm gonna say no, or I'm gonna try to write around it, and then they're gonna be like, nah, say this, and then it's gonna be a whole thing. And so I shied away from it. And I actually left the industry for about 5 years. I completely ran. I heard a message about just, music and the gift of music and my responsibility with it. And I had never realized that I had to be responsible for it. I thought it was for my success and my gain. And so once I realized that, I was like, yo, I don't want to do it. I'm good. I don't want responsibility like that. I don't want to be responsible for somebody's little child and what they grow up listening to. It was too heavy for me. And so I said, it's too heavy. I'm going to put it down.
Right.
So I put it down. I left. I ran away. I fired everybody.
Wow.
Management, publicists, everybody. And I was like, I'm going to just go to church and I'm going to stay there until I die and Jesus come back. in whatever order that happens. Right. I thought it was like, this is the
I'm
safe
here now.
place.
Yeah.
And then I went to church. God bless his people. And I found out that the people in the body of Christ are not as different. They're not that much different from the people in the world. A lot of them are seeking fame. I had a lot of people wanting me to be around because of the fame that I had in the industry.
Sure.
I had a lot of people. I tried to get in the gospel community and try to, shift my writing into that. I have every time I would tell somebody what I had done, they'd be like, "Yo, we trying to get where you at," and I'm like, "Well, no. Like I'm on purpose. Like I'm trying to." And they was like, "Yeah, but with the money you make over there, like we don't make them kind of dollars over here." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, but I sacrificed and I put all of that down so that I could be who God called me to be. Aren't you proud of me?"
How'd that make you feel hearing that kind of response?
I couldn't believe it. And it's not everybody.
That's one of the people right now calling.
Response.
She's like, "Where that check at?"
And it's not everybody, but from the ones that I heard it from, it was terrifying to know that some people are out here just playing a role. Not everybody who sings "What a Beautiful Name It Is" actually submits to that beautiful name.
That's facts.
And so
kind of scary too.
It's scary because I thought there was safety. And what the Lord was trying to show me is that you've been looking for safety in the world, and then you left the world to look for safety in the church. The safety is with me. And as long as you with me, I can take you all over this world that I created, these 4 corners of the earth that I made. I can take you anywhere in them places and do whatever I want to do as long as I go before you and behind you. But if you're looking for it in man, I don't care whether it's man in a pulpit or man at the Grammys, you're going to fail. They're going to fail you. And so it took me years to understand. I would like be in the studio trying to write something. I'm like, I want to write a song about Jesus. And then I get a love song dropped in my spirit. And I'm like, nah, get behind me, Satan. I ain't talking about love, I'm talking about Jesus. And then I would say that and then the Lord's like, well, aren't I love? Like when you walk down the aisle and you get married and you have your honeymoon, is the song you playing in your honeymoon Oceans?
Definitely ain't Oceans. definitely not. We can make a left turn.
Listen.
And we going
this idea.
Spirit lead me.
This idea that God is so small that he has genres and catalogs that he puts things in, like he can only operate in this setting and he can only operate over here. And he just started to open my eyes and ears to the reality that, of course, there are things that don't honor him.
Sure, yeah.
But there's also people that sing things that honor him and the people don't honor him.
That's true.
So then what are we really we get into this mode of it's got to sound like this and it's got to be like that, or it's worldly and it's secular. And it's like, he also loved the world. You know what I'm saying? He also, there are people in the Bible that he used that weren't even believers.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I don't condone, I do have a responsibility to him to make sure that I am stewarding over what he gave me. Well, so there's certain things I just won't write,
sure.
You know, now. But at the same time, I've written some beautiful love songs that I know the Lord has used to show himself in and through. You know
That's
what I mean?
amazing. You seem very reflective in that piece.
Yeah,
like,
it took years to get there.
Yeah, to understand how to be responsible for the gift. And speaking of gifts, you said it earlier that you feel like you're a singer. You are. You started singing first, and songwriting came kind of out of a traumatic experience in a lot of ways. But you be singing like, I mean,
He's singing.
You be like, I mean, I've seen you in your worship leader element. I've been
wow.
I think during the pandemic we used to watch you at this. I used to be like, whoa, look at Crystal. I used to be like, me and my fam in the living room, like she's leading us and killing it. But now you went and tried out for The Voice.
I did,
and you was killing it. Can you talk about that experience and what that felt like?
Traumatic. I'm still trying to recover. Y'all going traumatic.
Tell us how you really.
Man, so all right. So I told y'all how, I was always told that I wasn't good enough to be the singer and all these type of things. So when and shout out to 116, shout out to Reach, because I've never stepped in this building and not been treated like an artist. An artist who writes songs, you know what I mean? A songwriter, singer, songwriter, artist. And so this is one of the few places that I've been to that I've always been respected for the totality of my giftings and not just what we need from you today. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, I went and I was like, I'm gonna do something crazy. I mean, like, why not? I'm just gonna try for The Voice. People call me The Voice behind certain songs, so let's just go do it. Man, listen, I was so doggone nervous. A sound came out of me that I had never even heard before. I didn't even know I could sound like that. The way I was terrified out of my mind. And I was like, it challenged me in so many ways because I had to realize that, like, I'll be on stages and I get ready to open my mouth. And you got the little nervousness. You're human. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes you go, well, let me talk myself up. Man, shoot, you gotta be nervous. Who's these people? Who's you got this. You've been doing this your whole life. You came out the womb singing, wham, wham, all that, right? And so then that phase, though, like to talk yourself up, eventually it fades as soon as you hit a wrong note. Then you go, well, let me just be humble. Let me talk myself down. Like, well, I'm just lowly servant, use me, Lord. And that don't really help as well. You know what I mean? Because as soon as you do something off or you do something right, that's the worst thing you could do is do something right and people applaud and now you're looking for that. Now it becomes a drug. So I've realized that I don't have a talk for myself. I'm who God called me to be. And as imperfect as I am as a person, sometimes my gift is imperfect in certain ways when it comes out of me because it's coming out of the imperfect person. And so I submit to him to use whatever I'm just going to produce. Mm-hmm. And he can do whatever he want to do with it. So that crack, that was Jesus.
That's amazing.
And take it up with him.
Take it up with him. Mm-hmm.
I warmed up, I did my job, and it came out like that, and that was him. So if y'all
that sounds great. I love how you kind of like
you throw it off on him.
Yeah, for sure. That's great. Shout out The Voice.
I know for sure.
Them judges is.
You would think it's easier to sing to the back of chairs. It was more difficult to do that. Wow. It was more, I thought like, oh, this is easy peasy. I've sang to congregations, thousands of people, it's whatever. No, to sing to the back of a chair and wait for that turn is like that slow clock. Tick, tick.
That is crazy.
Listen, now I know you got some things of your own coming up soon. Can you talk a little bit about that for us?
Oh, so I got this song that I wrote. It's called, I got a whole project coming out. But particularly, I just shot a video for this song called Fall, and it's so crazy. I love it so much. I'm able to be the fullness of my artistic self on it because I'm able to sing. I'm able to do a little bit of rapping. I'm able to do a little bit. It's like R&B, worship, gospel. It's got so many different elements, and I've always tried to pick and choose who I was gonna be depending on what people wanted from me. And in this song, I get to be all of it.
That's amazing.
So I'm so excited about it. We just shot the video. The video's insane. And I can't wait to to share it with the world.
When is it potentially going to be out? Is it
end of January?
Okay.
And the only reason, because I would put it out today, but you know how people y'all get real fickle when it's like December. You could put out something December 29th, and then January 1st, you'd be like, man, that's old news.
Oh, yeah. It's
like, bro, it's like 4 days long, 3 days
yeah, that was 2023.
That was 2023,
we don't
man.
Wanna...
It's like, so I'm just waiting for the time to shift over into the new year so that,
that's dope. I mean, I think it's dope that you're like still pursuing it and killing it and doing what God pretty much made you to do.
Yeah.
Tell the people where they can find your information. Or ask me before we get into it, anything else you want to say? Anything else you want to lead the people with, just to kind of like lift them up, encourage them? Yeah.
I just want to empower people when it comes to being who God called you to be without outside influence. I think that it's healthy to get wisdom. I think wise counsel is healthy, but sometimes we have an unhealthy soul tie to wise counsel, to some people who they may think that you're supposed to be one thing and God is calling you to be something else. And so I just want to encourage people to, that personal relationship thing with the Lord, it's vital.
Right.
Because you can't keep going off of what somebody else told you the Lord said about you. Come on. Because sometimes the Lord didn't say that to them about you. Sometimes it's just their own personal opinion about you. And I know in church culture, sometimes we can have this unhealthy God complex with man and women, you know what I mean? But
for sure.
You honor and you love people and you respect them so much that it's like their word becomes God's word. And that's not
how it rolls. Yeah.
Nah, that ain't the move. And I just encourage people, get your own relationship with the Lord. Anything outside of his book, you know what I'm saying, is it may not be him, know his character, know what he likes and what he dislikes, but know that he's speaking in and through you and he can use you in ways that maybe people don't see or understand. You know what I'm saying?
That's super, super great. Well, definitely tell everybody where they can find your information, your socials, drop all that,
Okay, I'm so bad at this, but you guys have been helping me. Reach is so awesome with socials and all that. So I'm on Instagram as the Crystal Nicole, the THEE _ Crystal Nicole, Crystal with a C, because why would you spell it with a K?
This ain't fast food. Spell it right, because she a gem. It's Crystal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Meah's trying to get some pub writing.
Listen.
The writing is like this.
Look, we're going to leave here and go right to the studio.
It's been an amazing conversation, Crystal.
Yeah,
appreciate you.
So much.
And definitely got to have you back on in the future.
Thank you. And thank you, Ace. You said something to me when I first met you real quick over the phone. You were like, hey, what's up? This Ace. He was like, first of all, I just want to thank you for your contribution to the culture and to music. And nobody's ever said that to me. And I was like, wow, I did contribute to
Yes. We used to run that Rihanna song. Me and my wife used to jam to that joint. Like it contributed many good days of great music. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
so
thank you for acknowledging that.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need somebody to acknowledge what you've done.
I definitely I receive it for sure. This is the 116 Life on Holy Culture Radio, Sirius Channel 140. I'm here. I'm Ace Harris.
Here with Meah Evans. Listen, we had an amazing show with Crystal Nicole. We'll be right back here next week. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Later.